What's up, everybody? It's Thursday night. It's a little bit past 10:30. So you know what time that not time that means. You know what that means. It means it's time for three old men yelling at cloud. I am
Brought
one
to
of
you
those three
by
old men.
Geritol.
That's right. I need some somebody bring me some damn ginkgo biloba. I am one of your hosts, Clan Diesel. Off to my left here are the two co-hosts with the mostest, Dr. Diz DM with his animal shirt and his tool hat, as always.
Yay!
And the one, the only, the Admiral, Double Aught Buck. What's up, gentlemen?
Oh, spreading hate and discontent.
That's what we do. We are Twitch's font of negativity.
Double buck coming in with those cheers.
Double Buck cheer, 1,000 biddies. Oh my goodness.
Thousand biddies.
Oh my god, Double Buck just cheered 1,000 biddies to me too. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Amazing. Starting this episode off right.
Now you can go get your ginkgo biloba.
Thank you.
Diz get his Geritol.
That's
I need my Jared.
we
I need
need
something
it
for
as
arthritis in my hand.
need some Bengay,
Yeah.
Asper cream.
Yeah.
Use
Tough
that
acting
newfangled
Tinactin.
icy hot.
Yeah, you got the jock itch too. This over there scratching his crotch. Looks like he needs some tough acting Tinactin.
Oh.
All right. So today on Three Old Men Yelling at Cloud, we're going to talk about fungus. No, that's wrong. We're not going to talk about fungus. That's not what we're talking about at all. Actually, tonight we're talking about. I have no idea, chat. We didn't talk about it beforehand, so I don't know. So, gentlemen, what are we talking about tonight?
Star Wars, I think.
The Star War. Excellent. I like the Star War.
Which is your favorite Star War?
Which is my favorite Star War? Probably. Actually, it's pretty close between the two. My favorite is probably Empire,
Mm.
but I also like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I like those as well because I grew up with those.
Yeah, those two are my favorite. Empire, I would say, is the best Star Wars movie I've seen.
What about you, Buck? Which is your favorite?
I wish I could go by the books, because if I could go by the books, it'd be Shadow of the Empire.
Yeah.
I had that Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah, but I've read the entire book. They'll never
did
make
not.
it though. It's sad.
They did not.
But if I
Disney
have to
killed that.
pick out of the 9, I would have to go with
You can say Solo.
Return of the Jedi.
I like it. Respectable pick. Respectable pick. I like it. I like it. It's a
I
good one.
have a less popular.
He's
What?
going to pick one of the damn prequels. I know he is.
He wants
I know
episode
he
3.
is. Send in the clones.
I kind of
Revenge
like.
of the Sith.
I kind of like episode 1.
Oh, Phantom Menace.
Listen, no, we've talked. Listen, we've
It
talked
has
about
so
this
many
at
good
length.
things about it.
The biggest thing that Diz likes about episode 1 is the fact that the dude from Taken is in it. He likes Qui-Gon Jinn. If they could just make a Star
good
Wars
old Liam
movie,
Neeson.
yes, Liam Neeson. If they could
Why
just make a
didn't-
Star Wars movie with Qui-Gon, he would be on.
Why
cloud
didn't
nine.
Why didn't they let Anakin be taken by Darth Maul?
What's going to happen? Qui-Gon is going to Darth Maul. I can see Darth Maul sends one of those holographic phone calls. He's like, well, no, it'd be Anakin, wouldn't it? It'd be Anakin is like, oh my god, Qui-Gon, he's got me. He's got. And then Obi-Wan's like, what are we going to do, Qui-Gon? And then
That's a pretty good
Qui-Gon thinks, I can do 2 impressions. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jesus, because they're the same person. Next time you're in church, chat, see if a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi is hanging in church. It may be.
Dang.
It's been fooling old ladies since the end of the 90s. So
Anakin, you're going to be taken.
Exactly.
Don't ask about midichlorians.
Exactly. Anakin, you're going to be taken. Let me speak to do you have Annie? And he's like, I forget what the fuck Darth Maul sounds like. He's like, this is Darth Maul. Yeah, dude.
He doesn't talk that much, really.
He doesn't.
He does. He does in everything else he's involved in, except for in episode 1.
Yep. He has like one line in episode 1 when he's with the Emperor. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you only watch the movies, Darth Maul is a very minor character.
Yeah, except for he has a huge role.
Yeah, if you go into like the animated stuff, like Clone Wars and stuff, he's in there a lot.
And do all of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
He's in
the
that.
fact that
He's
he
in
lived
Rebels.
through
Yeah.
1. Spoilers for anybody that ain't seen it. Darth Maul does not die in episode 1.
It says animals.
This-
You want to see?
This
You wanna see
shirt
what it
just
says?
says animals right there.
It says
We
this.
got
Look, we got the Appa
yep.
and the Momo over here. You got the Momo,
It is a Momo. That's his favorite.
And they hang out here
and then you got the penguin thing,
at the deer farm.
the
Otter penguin. The hog
hog
monkey.
monkey, and then the badger. Badger.
Badger.
You got all the animals, and my favorite Momo.
That's true. Momo is his favorite character.
So
Mine's Toph.
let's not just brush over this episode 1, because there's a lot of good things about it.
All right. Continue selling me on this episode 1.
I mean,
is the best Star Wars.
Jar Jar Binks is a downside. Okay, now
okay.
when
I
you-
thought he was about to say that was a good one. I was like,
No.
Me
Diz.
too. I was like, well, we
and
just
that's why
canceled
most
this
people
show.
hate it.
Yep.
Most people hate it because of that, and Anakin asking about midichlorians.
Midichlorian. No, everybody knows the best part about episode 1 is this. But this is what I call pod racing.
Now, besides
That is everybody's favorite part of episode 1.
besides episode 3, I think it has the best lightsaber battle.
I would have to disagree.
Interesting.
Okay, here we go. Battle of the battles. Diz, which one do you think is the best lightsaber battle?
I mean, I'm partial to Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean,
all right. So we got one. Okay, Buck. This is you versus Diz. What do you say is the best lightsaber battle?
Yoda and Dooku going at it in Attack of the Clones.
that's
That is a good one. That is a good one.
Because
That is a
that
good
lets you
one.
see for the first time ever the Jedi Master that is number 1 with a lightsaber.
Yep. Both of them. I mean, both of them are really good. So
Yeah, but see, you said
does
episode
have some
1 and
skills.
3. You left 2
yeah,
out.
3. Yeah. Oh, 3 is really good because you get Anakin and Obi-Wan, and just the actors, the dedication they put into that was amazing. Like if you watch any of the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff they had to do to choreograph the
Oh, yeah.
that fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Those two put a lot of
Incredible.
work in for the 3rd.
Well, thank you, Sly. We try.
I mean, the
Magic
fight
Egg
with
sexy
bring
man.
think about being in Dooku's shoes though, when you have to CGI fight a puppet.
I know, right?
Like,
It's difficult.
It is
I mean-
difficult.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's having to play this out with nobody there with him.
And also on that, what's the actor who plays Dooku?
Ian,
It's Christopher Plummer, isn't it?
yeah, Christopher. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ian was Gandalf. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Sauron. Yeah, Christopher
Like
was.
just that man is amazing himself.
Yeah.
Yes, that dude is a certified badass. Like,
And
I would not want to meet Christopher Plummer pissed off in a dark alley
have you
because
seen his
I'm not coming out of
lightsaber?
that alley.
It's curved. Like the hilt
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
curved. and he actually went and requested it to be that way because he's actually used swords like that in real life to kill people, probably.
There is a story about one time he was in a movie and the director got on to him because uh, he was like, "No, you're supposed to stab him, and he's gonna make this sound." That's what's no, he got stabbed, and he was making a sound. The director goes, "No, that's not the sound you make," and he goes, "Sir, uh, between the two of us, how many people have you stabbed? Because my number is more than one."
So it's the scene in the Two Towers where he gets stabbed in the back by Worm
Yeah.
Tongue.
By Wormtongue. Yep.
Yep.
So he was telling Peter Jackson that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Nice.
Yep.
Also, the only actor in Lord of the Rings that actually met Tolkien.
Yeah. He actually wanted to be Gandalf, but they cast Ian McClellan.
What's his, McClellan?
McCallan. I'm not sure how they pronounce his last name.
Old Magneto. They
Yeah.
casted old Magneto. I think it was
The
Ian
original.
McKellen.
The original.
Ian
of
McKellen.
Magneto.
There we go. Yeah, but he wanted to be Gandalf, but he ended up being Saruman.
Yeah.
Saruman.
Which
think-
him
Now,
and Ian McClellan
we're
are
not
good
talking about Lord of
friends.
the Rings. We're talking about Star
No.
Wars.
We're talking about Star Wars. That's right. They're very connected. Through Magneto.
So one of Diz's things about one being so great, I guess you liked it when Anakin got his first taste of genocide too, right, Diz?
That's not in one, right? He blows up robots.
When
in
he
one.
attacked the Trade Federation ship and blew it up and come flying out screaming woohoo.
Yeah, those are all robots.
Oh no,
Right?
no. There's actually Trade Federation people, viceroys
Well-
and stuff on that ship when he blows it up.
Well, it wasn't genocide so much. He didn't wipe out an entire race. It was just a lot of murder.
He does that later.
Well, he does it in
He does
every
genocide later.
movie.
He does genocide later.
It goes from pod racing to murder.
Yeah, in the same movie, and then he just ramps it up.
Listen, pod racing is a gateway crime. First, you're out there pod racing. The next thing you know, you're killing all the what was it?
He kills all the drones or droids
sand
in
people.
Trade Federation. Then
Yeah,
he
the
kills
sand
the
people.
Tusken Raiders,
Yeah, the
Tusken
Tusken
Raiders.
Raiders.
and then he kills,
Then he kills all the
younglings.
younglings.
and then he helps direct a Death Star to blow up an entire planet.
Let's do that.
Yep.
Then he
Absolutely.
directs his squad to go down and kill a bunch of bears.
That was a bad
Yep.
day on Alderaan.
Like
Yep.
he's been addicted to killing since the first movie.
Also, to be fair though, everyone knows that the number one threat on the threat down is bears.
He was
So-
just taking care of it.
Hey, the
Also,
fact
what you didn't know is that there's a cut scene in that movie where he goes justified and then hits the button.
Yeah.
So therefore it's fine. It's fine.
Justified.
Justified.
however, though, them bears were more badass than the whole empire that they sent down there.
Well, I mean, they did get their own cartoon.
I mean, they had two other movies. You had the Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor that took place after the first fight on Endor.
I mean, personally, I didn't like the Ewoks. Am I alone? Did everybody
The
else just
Ewoks-
love the Ewoks?
The Ewoks are all right. The biggest crime against the Ewoks is in the episode 6 remake at the end where they changed the
Yes.
song.
Yeah.
And
That is the biggest crime against the Ewoks.
and that they put Hayden Christensen in as Vader, but didn't put Ewan McGregor in as
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Obi-Wan.
So what did Anakin do that was so awesome that he got to be a young Force ghost?
Right? And Ewan McGregor didn't come in and take over as the other. Like if you're gonna change one, change them both, or don't change either one of them.
Give us young Yoda at least, right? Every time we
Right,
see
yeah.
Yoda Force Ghost, he's like barely moving around still.
He's Dagobah Yoda.
Yeah.
God, the afterlife is treating you bad.
And
Yeah.
and if Qui-Gon
He-
was so good
he
at
did
using the
burn
Force,
tree.
why wasn't he there?
You know, we never see Qui-Gon ever,
Right.
but he's taught them how to do this.
Now we might see
Yeah.
Qui-Gon in the new show.
I hope we do. Like,
Maybe. I mean, it would make sense if he showed up there.
Well,
right?
you say you hope we do, Diz, but what if it's not Liam Neeson playing Qui-Gon in the new
Get
show?
out. Then it's not Qui-Gon. Get out.
I mean, I
Get
don't really
out.
like it, but sometimes that has to happen.
No, I'm not.
Just like this
accepting
new
it.
Halo show, I kind of I'm just going with with the new chief, and then kind of enjoying it, even though it's not exactly what I want. So
I don't. I wish they'd have got the guy to just play the chief and then dubbed a chief's voice from the game over the guy. No disrespect to the guy at all. Not to the actor playing chief.
So you wanted to do kind of like what they did with Vader.
Yeah, like with Vader,
You
or
had
like with
you had one guy in the
um,
suit, you had one guy voicing, and then you had another guy that was the face when the helmet came off.
yeah,
You had three separate guys playing one character.
right. And they did the same thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger in his first movie, where they dubbed an American voice over Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice when he was playing. I think he was playing Hercules. Hercules in New York, I think, was his first movie.
Yeah.
That came out in America, but they dubbed over his voice. So here you have big, Arnold Schwarzenegger who's talking like this in the movie in real life, and then in the dub, he's like, "Hey, yo, Zeus, I'm here. What are we going to do?" It doesn't make sense.
I don't think he sounded like a gnome.
Well, it's you don't know. There's a team of gnomes that did the dub. Yeah, but at no point did he go, "Ooh, a flying machine." Tiz has been talking and not paying attention, and
I
now
haven't been paying attention.
He's
Now
very
there's-
confused.
now there's pizza in front of me, and I'm really confused.
Oh,
And
no.
Pizza and gnomes.
I need my medication,
He needs some Centrum Silver, people.
and my string keeps bottoming out on me. God, stupid internet.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna call and complain.
I already see 2 topics or 3 topics coming up for the next couple of episodes coming out of this show, so we're good.
Right? Just take notes, Glenn. That way you don't forget them.
That's right.
It happens with old age.
That's well, yes.
I have no idea where we're at.
You were telling us how great episode 1 was, and so
Oh, yeah.
far you haven't gotten very far.
and if you
So-
accept a fake Qui-Gon.
Fake Qui-Gon. Yes, I would be not okay with it, but it would be better than nothing.
Bogon Jin, if you will.
Yeah, Pokemon Gym. So we get
Oh dang it. I don't have anything to hydrate. Keep him talking. I'll be back. I get
we
something to
got
hydrate with.
young Obi-Wan Kenobi, right, as a Padawan. We've got Qui-Gon Jinn, which we never get to see him again. We have one of the best lightsaber battles in the whole 9 episodes, and the one I actually like it the best, really. But
I think the prequels had the best lightsaber fights in the entirety of Star Wars.
Yep.
As a whole.
and then we have them moving around from planet to planet to planet, which they do that a little bit in the other movies, but in episode 3 they do it quite a bit. They have a few different worlds that they're on in between the stuff. So I don't know. And Anakin is the best Anakin in the whole series in the first one.
I'm dying. What is it? Yes.
He says Anakin is the best Anakin clan.
In the entire
Little Annie.
Little Annie is the best
Little
Anakin.
I agree. Yes. Yes. Hayden Christensen was basically a droid dressed in Jedi clothes.
Oh,
That guy in Clerks 2 was right when he was like, "Robot Anakin shitty acting is destroying Saga." He was
and
right.
what we end up with in the other trilogies, we end up with like the same storyline over and over again. It keeps being these planet destroyers and stuff like that. The middle three, the
You go.
first three that we got, it was 2 Death Stars, right? So, and then they do the prequels, and it's no Death Stars, no planet destroying stuff. It's all about character
The
development and
blueprint
stuff like that.
for the Death Star was in the prequels, though.
Yep.
Yes.
You actually
And-
got to see it on Genosis.
Not that I have anything against the original 3, because I really love them, and the Death Stars, really great. And whoever blew those up, I mean that was a lot of murder too. So I mean,
That's true.
Luke
There's a lot of-
Luke was
lot of
the first
employees
one,
somewhere.
so he took after his daddy.
yeah.
It's in their blood.
And then the second one was Lando Calrissian. So, I mean,
And do we want to talk about the Clerks debate about the Death Stars?
see, my big thing here with the Death Stars, the first one was completely
know.
finished, ready to go, was
Mhm.
tested.
Yep.
It took them years upon years to make this thing. Like it showed it in Rogue One. That how long it took time frame wise to turn around and everyone pretty much be 5 years roughly from 4 to 6, and here comes almost another completed Death Star.
Yep. So, Buck, do you know about the Clerks debate about the Death
I
Stars?
do not. I do not.
So, they bring up in the movie Clerks about the first Death Star was completed, right? So when they blew it up, it was a bunch of bad guys. We're killing the bad guy. But in the second one, the Death Star wasn't quite complete, right? It was operational, but it wasn't quite complete. And their debate is that there was probably a lot of contract workers on that Death Star, right? And a lot of
Carpenters,
innocent people.
electricians.
Now the question is though,
They just bid it on the job.
the question is though, were they Imperials that were doing the work, or were they forced civilians from other planets?
Oh, they
Because-
forced them to work.
Because
right?
the United States Navy has a group of Seabees that'll go in the middle of a raging war and build whatever you need.
It's true. It's true.
So were they part of the military, or were they contracted out as forced labor?
I mean, they had to have contract workers there in at least some parts of it, because I doubt that they would have enough manpower after they lost so many men in the first Death Star. I'm sure
I don't know, I
people
mean,
weren't standing in lines to sign up, for the army.
They've got a whole galaxy full of people to enslave. So I mean, it's not like they're running low. They can just get some Wookiees and a couple Tauntauns.
I'm not Tauntauns clan, not the Tauntauns.
If I would say this, if Harrison Ford was not in the first 3 movies, I don't think that those movies would have been anything. I don't think.
I think that original cast is very special.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't think it probably would have worked as well if the different people had been in those parts.
Yeah, I love all the other actors and actresses in it, but I feel like he was just that special sauce in there that just made it
To me,
made everything come together.
Harrison Ford would be what JD is right now.
Yeah.
And I've seen different things that put Harrison Ford as the chaotic neutral of that movie.
Listen, if there's ever a question, chat, the answer is JD shot first.
I guarantee JD shot first.
There's no doubt. JD's shooting first. Although, to be fair, I do see like it's kind of like Harrison Ford, but also in Indiana Jones, right? So somebody's coming up to JD with a sword. JD's just going to shoot him and turn around and walk
Yeah.
away.
I mean, what? Why do I care if he's wielding a sword? We ain't fighting fair.
To
He
anybody
tried
who
to end my
doesn't know,
life.
JD is Double Buck's character in our D&D game. So
That's right.
if anybody does not know,
So
He is a
here's
wild
y'all a
card.
question. When Han Solo's frozen in carbonite in episode 6, does Indiana Jones take place while he's dreaming in carbonite?
I don't know if a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Han Solo had enough imagination to dream up everything that happened, like the Ark of the Covenant or Nazis.
and in
There
this
is
in
some
this, in
debate
this
about that, though.
dream, he makes himself smarter. Like he makes himself like a professor because Han Solo is
He-
not.
No.
He was trying to dream of what kind of man would attract Princess Leia the most. He came up with Indiana Jones.
He came up with Sean Connery.
Well, I mean, yes. Wait a minute, we got where's the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14? Two things, sir. One, we're not playing it right now on stream. Number two, that's my bit. You get your own. Otherwise, it's $1 for every time you use it.
Oh, Clan trademarked it. I heard it right now.
All right, what about your favorite character then in all Star Wars? Do you have one?
All of Star Wars?
Yep.
Well, now wait, are we adding everything or just the
Everything.
9 movies?
Everything.
Okay. I'm torn.
It's Jar Jar Binks or
Nope.
the Tauntaun.
Boss Nass.
The Abominable Snowman.
No, Dash
That Luke has
Rendar
to
would
fight.
Dash Rendar would be one,
All
So
right,
5
all right.
got a Yeti.
and I would say that as the other, it would probably be Mando.
The Mandalorian.
Yes, either Mando or Dash Rendar.
Hmm.
The question is, do either one of y'all know who Dash is?
Yes, he's the
Oh.
guy from Shadows of the Empire.
He's the equivalent of Han Solo.
Yep.
When Han Solo was frozen in carbonite. He's the one that Darth Vader hired, Dash Rendar and Lobo, to keep Luke safe.
Mm-hmm. See, I've never played the game or read the book, so got some.
I have
catching up.
played the game.
He was trying to keep him safe from a villain called Prince Shizor, and the prince wanted Luke to serve him because he was the only Jedi left,
Mhm.
and wanted him in his service. And Luke told him no, so he sent bounty hunters to try to capture and or kill him. And that's when Vader sent his own bounty hunters to keep him safe.
There's so many characters.
There's a shit
I
ton
mean,
of characters. in
I
Star
really like
Wars.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, which a lot of people do, right? So that's a safe choice. But I think that probably Darth Maul is my favorite character.
I mean, if we're going core characters, then I'm gonna go with Yoda. But that's like top of the line Jedi Master. But he's not my favorite as a full backstory of everything that happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, The Mandalorian's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd say my favorites are either probably The Mandalorian probably be one. And I would say
BB-8.
probably BB-8 is a good choice.
That is my fiance's favorite character in Star Wars.
That is the best droid in Star Wars. I would also say, and it's a real generic one, but I like Luke.
Yeah.
A lot. And the reason I like Luke is because you get to see him grow through the movies
and disappear.
And that is the biggest crime that's ever happened in Star Wars, next to the changing of the music at the Ewok scene at the end of 6. But
making a list now, we have 2 crimes.
Yeah, Luke's death
is forced so hard.
Yeah, he literally forced so hard. His body lost cohesion and faded away. I want to be there when they wrote that scene, because somebody should have went,
I'm sure that's what he
serious? Did. Yeah. He basically did the equivalent of they Elvis Presley Luke. Elvis Presley died he tried to take a shit so hard he died. That's basically what they did with Luke.
He didn't have enough fiber in his diet.
If they cut back to Luke and he would have been sitting on the toilet doing this.
I mean, he was sitting on a rock and it about looked like he was on the toilet the way he was sitting there.
I mean, that's serious. Luke's the biggest character, one of the most important people in the entire saga.
Yep.
Not only did they change his future, but then Disney's just like, oh yeah, we're going to kill this guy.
I mean, there was so much that they took away from Luke's story that pissed me off. In the books,
he had a much better story.
He had a wife.
Future. He had a wife. He had kids.
Yeah.
His kid went to the dark side.
Yep.
He had to go and fight his kid.
I mean, even Han and Leia were supposed to have twins and then a younger son, and they weren't there either. Because Han and Leia were supposed to have Jan and Jace, and then Anakin Solo, which was the younger son. Yep. And on a planet trying to evacuate some people from the First Order destroying the planet, Anakin was late getting to the Falcon as they took off, and the ground fell out from under him. Chewie took Anakin and threw him into the Millennium Falcon, and Chewie died on that planet to save Han's youngest son. And none of that is in any of the movies. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all suck. Because that played a huge role in why Anakin's older brother Jace went to the dark side, and his sister had to fight him. And they took that away from the whole thing. And I'm like, oh man.
I just wish we could have saw more of Luke, sooner. Because if they would have shot, the newest movies when the cast was younger, maybe 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It could have worked. They could have really give that whole storyline a finishing point, and then they could have started, whatever new thing they wanted to.
I think if they'd have made the movies pre the Disney buyout of Lucas,
Yeah.
the movies would have followed the books.
I wish they would have. I wish
Um,
George wouldn't have sold that until after he made those three.
Yeah,
Why are the TV shows so much better than movies now?
the
But
people making them?
because
The
yeah,
people making them. Look, the dude making the Mandalorian, one of the
Conversation.
people making the Mandalorian, is also the guy that made Iron Man
Yeah.
and Iron Man 2. He is just a really, plays Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
He is just a super talented guy, but it's like he knew the Marvel stuff. He knew how to work Iron Man to make Iron Man believable. And shit, I love Iron Man. He's my favorite. Iron Man. He made Iron Man from a C-level hero to an A-list hero.
Care Bear Mafia really hates Adam Driver.
Well, I mean, he's I don't know. He's all right, I guess, but I just don't like the character of Ben Solo.
Yeah.
I just don't like that whole
I don't-
arc that he does.
I don't blame the actors in those movies. Like
No.
it's the script, the
it's
directing, or something.
it's the director, producer, writers, all of them are at fault.
Well,
for any of
here's
that.
my theory. All right, so they made episode 7, right?
Mhm.
Force Awakens. So they bring in J.J. Abrams, who was successful at kind of rebooting Star Trek, to reboot Star Wars.
Mhm.
So what's he do? He takes Star Wars and basically does a palate cleanser. Because Diz, he's not mentioned it yet, but Diz's biggest problem with episode 7 is that it's episode 4.
It is. It's just a repeat.
Right. And my thing is you had to do that. Because episode 4, that for the original trilogy, is considered good Star Wars.
Yeah.
The prequels are so divisive.
Yeah. Either
That
you like
you
them or you
had-
hate them.
Right. That you had to bring it to a point where everybody seemed to like it the best, which is
Mhm.
the start of the original series, episode 4, 5, and 6. So that's why I think he modeled episode 7 out of episode 4. So then you get a totally different guy that
Mhm.
makes episode 8, and everybody's like, this sucks. And then they get a different guy to make episode 9.
It was
And then
it was a Star Wars Fast and the Furious.
it was. I was waiting on somebody to go, so you gonna somebody's gonna mention family here in a minute.
Vin Diesel should have showed up in the movie. I kept waiting.
Exactly. One of the spaceships gonna look like a souped up Hyundai. Yo, I can make the castle run in 4 seconds. So, and then they make episode 9. They get partway through episode 9. They fire the director because it's not going well. And so then, they hired J.J. Abrams, who made episode 7, to come in and try to fix episode 9 as best he could. So
Yep.
it was just doomed from the beginning. And I think the big thing is Disney kind of wanted it that way.
All
Because
three
once they're
movies
able to
blur
bring in-
together for me. Like
Yeah.
the only one that
I don't
stands out
even-
is 2, really, because it's different. It's they're chasing each other the entire time. But they kind of all blurs together on what actually happened.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought the lightsaber battle in, I think it's the second one. I thought it looked good when I first watched it, and then I saw a video where somebody was analyzing it, and they slowed it down, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so bad."
When you
Like-
slow it down, it's god awful.
Yeah, it's like
literally, you
this
can
guy
watch
over
him
here.
nod,
He
hit each
swings
other.
and hits the floor. He could have took her head off right then.
Yeah.
He swings wildly.
Now I agree. Now
The guy who wrote
the
Newsroom.
is very good. Aaron Sorkin is very good writer. Yes, we all
I really
like
like
the
Newsroom. Yeah.
Yep, Newsroom good. 10 out of 10 would watch again. But like after episode 9, and Disney's able to come in and make their own stories, with their own characters, like the Mandalorian,
Yeah.
then things change and things get better.
Yeah,
I
then
think
then they make Book of Boba Fett, which is the extended episodes of Mandalorian until the next
Yeah.
season comes out.
Right, pretty much, yeah. He's not even in half of it.
No, but the moment he came in, those were the best episodes of Boba Fett.
That's true.
Yep, they were.
Well, they did have the Power Rangers show up. Which
Yeah,
I thought it was weird that they did a Power Rangers Star Wars crossover, but whatever.
right.
There were Power Rangers in space, so maybe it worked that way.
That's true. I'd have to say though, if I had to pick out of all the new stuff that wasn't the movies that has been released, that I want to say they pronounce it Kuiil, something like that. But it's Nick Nolte's character in Mandalorian. It's probably
yeah.
one of my more favorite characters. Because
Yeah, I
Mando's
think-
like, I don't really want to do that. He goes, I have spoken. He's like, well, shit.
Yes, I gotta.
Have any of you
Also-
watched The Bad Batch?
Yes.
I have not.
It's an animated series.
Yep.
I'm wondering
It-
if they're going to bring those into some of the shows or the movies or something like that.
I would imagine they would because they're going to bring in Ahsoka.
Well,
and stuff.
Yeah.
She's
but
already been in, Ahsoka. Yeah, she's.
they couldn't pair that in with anything that's going on right now, though, because of the time frame that they took place
In the movies
was
we
during
can't,
episode 2.
unless they go into like one of the Solo movies or something like that. They might fit in one of those because you're going to go
I
back in time.
I don't think
Tell
they're going to do any
stories.
more of those.
No more
Because
Solo.
ki-
It was just
Solo killed
a
that.
solo
They're not
Solo
gonna-
movie.
Yeah, Disney's got a shit ton of money, but they're not going to pay for bad movies.
But yeah, since you haven't seen it, Clan, Bad Batch is a set of clones that
Yep.
genetically messed up. And
Mhm.
so they take place at the middle of 3 when they execute Order 66.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they could even fit that in anywhere.
Yeah, I've not watched The Bad Batch. I've not watched Clone Wars, and I've not watched Rebels.
So the Mandalorian happens.
After episode 6.
Yeah,
After
it
6,
takes
yeah.
place between 6 and 7.
And Clone Wars is between 2 and 3.
Yep.
And Rebels is also between 2 and 3, right?
I
More
thought Rebels
towards-
was between 3 and 4.
I was gonna say it's more towards
Maybe
the
3 and
tail end
4,
of
right?
3.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan Kenobi, I guess it happens
Between 3
After
and 4.
3.
after 3,
Yep.
between 3 and 4. Yeah, so
Because it's going to potentially follow everything that happened with Obi-Wan from the moment he dropped the kids off at their respected locations and then started watching over Luke on Tatooine.
and then Ahsoka is also going to happen in between 3 and 4. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I mean, we got to find out
Well-
what happens to her, right? Because, I mean, what happens to Anakin's Padawan?
But Ahsoka could also show up anytime from like 2 to 3 until the beginning of 7, because she's at the tail end of Mando, where she's with Luke at one point, and Luke is at the tail end of 6. So she could be anywhere in that time frame
Mhm.
on where they pick this movie up. From where Anakin changes to Vader until the part of Mando where Luke and Grogu are training on the planet with her there.
What?
I have to
do
say
we-
though, that was my favorite part of the Mandalorian though.
Which part was that?
when they're on the ship and they're going after with the other Mandalorians and they're going after the dark saber
Mhm.
and they're pinned in that room with all those droids, and then here comes in an X-wing that's not calling back to anybody, just lands. I'm like, I know who's on that.
Yeah, when the
And-
X-wing showed up, it's like, yeah, okay.
I was like, I know who this is, and she's and Harley was sitting there with me. She's like, how do you know you haven't seen the episode? I said, he's in a black cloak. I said, watch his hand. It's going to be black with a glove on because it's robotic, and there'll be a green lightsaber, and that all unfolded. And I'm like, yep, I know exactly who the fuck that is.
Hey, technically though, Luke can use Force lightning.
That is true.
His dad cannot.
That is true. His dad can absorb it though.
That's true. He's got a lot of insulation. There's a lot of insulation in that suit.
So are we gonna get to see more of young Luke? Because
I
what they
guess
did
it
is
depends.
They took an actor that really looked like
Oh yeah.
Mark
He
Hamill,
is a deep fake.
and then they kind of did the CG stuff with his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess maybe if they wanted to add him in like Obi-Wan at some point, where Obi-Wan's watching him kind of grow up, and
yeah, maybe.
I guess mold.
Which I mean, he's in. I mean, well, the character Luke is in Obi-Wan because they announced that they casted young Luke
Yeah.
for Obi-Wan already. Now I think there will be more stories with Luke in them. I don't know if they'll be live action or not. I would think what they would do maybe is they would try to, if they want to do a story with the original cast or whatever, that they would probably maybe try to do it animated, which would be cool. I mean, I'll take anime Star Wars, get a good Japanese animation studio, and make a Star Wars anime, and that'll work. I'll be there.
So the
get
actor's name
cast
is Grant Feely. If anybody was wondering.
There you go. Oh
He
man,
looks-
Philly's boy.
Just like him, like very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have to do too much work to make them look like Luke did when he was younger, or
Yeah.
Mark Hamill when he was younger.
Yeah.
I would like to see them come out with where Luke starts the Jedi Order again.
That would be an interesting story, and they could use live action Mark Hamill in that.
I mean, they could, but they should use the one that was in Mando first to kind of start the prologue or whatever of what's going on,
Yeah.
and then shift it to Mark Hamill as he's getting everything assorted into where it should be. But
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: did he train? I mean, he trained other Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So where are they?
they were all killed.
Order 66 Part 2.
The Emperor was and Shizor were killing them off. And the only reason Luke wasn't killed is because Vader kept Luke hid for as long as he could. And then once Emperor found out that Luke was Vader's son, he wanted a new apprentice brought into the fold. So that's why he had Vader try to persuade him to join the dark side.
Yep. I mean, Luke wouldn't have started the Jedi Academy until after the Emperor was killed.
Right.
Yeah, after 6.
Yeah.
So 6, you have Vader dead, Emperor gone.
Well, but he
Dot, dot,
wasn't
dot.
gone.
Right.
Well, I mean, even in the books, when Emperor got thrown down the chute, it's the same premise as what happened with Darth Maul. He didn't die. When he fell down the chute, his royal guard got him on a shuttle and got him out of there before the Death Star exploded. But
But in the movie, it was a clone.
So, well, in the movie, I don't know what he is. He was making clones.
Send in the clowns.
Send in the clown! Where was I? Old man moment. Got distracted. Squirrel.
Looks like somebody else needs that ginkgo biloba.
Squirrel. So after 6, that's when Luke builds his academy, right? And it's
Yep.
so in the Force Awakens, they kind of go into flashbacks and showing it. I think they might even show it from both sides, Luke's side and
Kylo's side.
Kylo's side, and but I think both of them isn't like something on fire or something, or
Yeah.
it shows him with R2D2 and the whole thing's on fire or something. Or
When Luke had the premonition of what Kylo was going to become, and he didn't want it to turn out that way, he was going to kill Kylo. And since he had that thought of killing his own, nephew, he burned the temple to the ground, and he stopped training at that point because he had that moment of weakness of potentially killing him instead of trying to help nurture and guide him the way he should have. And so since he failed in his own mind, failed himself and the Jedi way, he burned the whole temple to the ground.
And then Ghost Yoda burned the Jedi tree.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
yeah, he's like, see those books? Fuck those books. Burn
Exactly.
'em.
Is
Yoda.
this the Jedi holy book? Fuck this book.
Yoda, advocate of burning books.
Yeah. Apparently, when he died, he woke up in the afterlife and chose violence.
Right. He's like, I went 900 years and fought like twice. And now I left it to this asshole of a kid that can't do nothing right. I'm just going to destroy it all.
Exactly. Fuck your tree. I would
So
have been watching too much Chappelle show.
the big question:
afterlife.
Are they going to get rid of the newest 3 movies? Are they going to say that they were an alternate reality, something like that? Or
I mean, I don't know. It could happen. It could happen.
or Doc Brown shows up and Luke jumps in the car and they go back.
I mean,
Disney has to buy Universal first.
If they're
Which
going to
could
try
happen.
to try to play that off as multiverse or whatever, that's going to be really rough to make the other 3 to where anybody would want to watch them, because you can only burn a fan of a genre so many times before they don't care anymore.
So what do we do going forward? Is it just Rey? Is Rey our
Well, the way
new
that
main
Rey
character?
tried to play it off is she's a Skywalker now because she didn't want to be a Palpatine, which I think that's just weird. So you could just choose who the hell you are.
You ain't got no ID.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is she ain't got no blood in the metachlorian count that shows that she's a Skywalker neither.
True.
So I don't know how they're going to play that one off.
I think that we're as far in the timeline as we're going to go.
Or at
with
least we should go.
Rey for a long time, because what Disney wants to do is they want to make a Old Republic series of movies.
And that would be fine. But they pretty much can't use a single soul that they've got in any other movie up to this point.
No, and that's what they want.
How long
They
ago was the
want-
Old Republic?
At least 1,000 years before
Oh,
the Skywalker saga.
I was going to say it was before Yoda's
Maybe
time.
baby Yoda,
Oh no,
real
baby
Baby
Yoda
Yoda.
wasn't even around at that point.
the real baby. Yoda.
I think the Old Republic timeline
Well, that's what I'm saying.
starts like
Yoda's
5,000 years before Anakin's.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yoda was like 900 years old. Yoda wasn't even around when Old Republic went down.
Is it going to touch on like the game stuff? The Old Republic?
I mean,
I
that'd
guess it
probably give them a
Probably
reference.
will, yeah. Like Revan will probably be there because he's everybody's favorite bad guy after
Mhm.
Vader. Everybody loves Revan.
Mhm.
So I think they'll work that into a story. It may go differently than in the games, probably. But yeah, they'll want to hit that old Republic timeline big time because then they can make all new characters and all new story and keep going with that for 20, 30 years.
I just wonder if they're actually going to separate the Jedi out with the colored sabers like they were initially intended to be.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring in and actually make like, the gray Jedi canon.
Well, what I'm getting at though is like, for example, the gold bladed lightsabers, right? Those are the Sentinels. They were supposed to be guarding the Jedi Temple. Anakin and those clones would not have ever made it to the younglings had they had them there. Those guys were trained to wholeheartedly kill anything in their path to stop knowledge and loss of life inside the temple.
True. But they kind of explain that in the prequels. So everybody's, the Jedi are concerned and talking about it in the temple and stuff about how the Force is, the Jedi are weakening.
Yeah. And I mean, they built the Jedi temple on top of a Sith temple in Coruscant, which is where Jedi fucked up to start with. Because that gave the Emperor the ability to manipulate things because it was saturated with evil force.
The rent was so low. I mean, they really had to just go in there and just do a little bit of remodeling, do a flip on it.
They were gentrifying the neighborhood. All right, you don't know it, but for the Jedi own like 3 Starbucks in that neighborhood, at least 4 Subways, Jersey Mike's.
Well, see, the thing is that the Jedi were never on Coruscant. Like their temple was out kind of like in a wilderness type planet away from all civilization so that they could focus more on honing their skills.
Someone in the chat, Anna Mason, has commented that Anakin was stronger than the Sentinels at his peak in the temple storming, so he probably would have killed them.
I disagree with that too, because the only people stronger than the Sentinels was Yoda. And Yoda could have beat the snot out of Anakin with his one hand tied behind his back.
He could have. I agree with you. Yoda was probably the strongest Force user. But now it seems like Anakin was the second.
Yes. Now
so I see where Mason's coming from.
But the thing is that
he was so amped up at that time too. Like he was just in a rage mode.
He was barbarian Jedi.
But Anakin didn't hit his massive rage that put him to where he maxed out at the best until after he killed Padme. The moment he killed Padme is when Anakin became his strongest as Anakin.
Did he kill Padme, or was it her?
No. What I'm saying is in his mind, the moment he killed Padme, and he blames Obi-Wan for being in the middle of it, that's when Anakin hit his prime, like hit his max potential.
I think Padme tried to force too hard, and
which we all know can result in death.
Well, we didn't know it at the time. We didn't know that at the time.
If you force for more than 4 hours, you need to go to the hospital. All right.
Well, Regan throwing out terms like hotties. No, we are just old men. That's all.
But see, if you think about it, was Anakin though still in what was considered his prime, one of the best saber wielders when Obi-Wan cut off one arm and 2 legs and left him there?
Well, no, Yoda by far definitely the best saberist.
Interesting.
The only person that was supposed to be better skilled than Obi-Wan with the saber, which was funny that they said this, was Mace Windu, and he gets knocked out a window by lightning. I'm like, how's he better?
Count Dooku, they said, was one of the top swordsmen.
But we're talking Jedi versus Sith at that point.
Count Dooku was the only person that could give Yoda a run for his money.
Yes. And he was a Jedi at one point, but once you turn to the dark side, that takes you out of the running for
You can't be
Jedi.
Jedi of the year.
Black Bolt. But
Yeah,
yeah, Mace Windu. Mace Windu beat Palpatine straight up, and Yoda lost to Palpatine. It's true. That did happen.
Mace Windu
The
was
only
the best
reason
fighter,
he,
and
the
Anakin would've clapped
only
him during
reason
the
is
temple.
Anakin took some cheap shots at Mace there. Cut
But
his arms off.
did Yoda really lose to Palpatine?
Anakin would have clapped Windu in the temple, in my opinion. I love that. If you disagree with it or not, I love that statement.
But I mean, did Yoda really lose to him? Or did Yoda choose to walk away in the middle of that fight because he sensed something into the future?
I don't know.
Because when Yoda came off the top of that against
Yoda
the
lost.
Emperor, he just went on. But
Yeah.
if you've only seen the movies and not read the books, then you can't make the claim that Yoda just lost.
Yeah.
Well,
Animation says he saw the future and some cheats getting clapped and he bailed. This shit, I'm out.
yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm Yoda.
Because I mean, as soon as he left the encounter with Emperor, he set in motion to get the kids safe and get himself and Obi-Wan put in position to help raise Luke and Leia the way they needed to be.
Yeah. So the real question is, was Jar Jar Binks actually a Jedi Knight?
No, hell no.
He was a Sith Lord.
He was a Sith. Oh, I will take
Jar
that.
Jar
Yeah.
Binks was a part of the Sith.
I mean,
And
he gave
probably
the
the most
Chancellor
powerful of
emergency
all,
powers,
right?
Diz. He sure as
He
fuck
is.
wasn't a Jedi.
He was the Sith Lord.
He drove everybody insane and made them hate the first movie. So he was the most powerful.
I mean, he pissed Qui-Gon off big time.
Interesting. Jar
See?
Jar, legit
Mason
Sith Lord.
agrees. Jar Jar is a Sith Lord. Yes.
I mean, the only person that didn't agree with the whole Jar Jar statement was Diz. He brought it up as a Jedi.
I thought he was a Force user of some kind.
Not a Jedi. He is definitely 100% Sith.
Oh. Yeah, the Force runs strong in this dumbass.
And he don't know what metachlorians are either.
That's true.
Jar Jar was supposed to be the second hand to Palpatine instead of Dooku. Dang. Jar Jar went deep undercover.
That's right. He could use the Force to annoy you to death.
He could, right?
Yes.
You killed yourself because
You stuck on a Force line in your house.
oh, he's in the Clone Wars cartoons too.
Oh my god.
Just as bad. Just as bad.
What is worse? Him or the Roger robots?
I love the Roger robots. Roger.
I mean, that's the droids there, those war droids or whatever they're called, they're comic relief. That's what they're there for.
I mean, the first time I heard him, the movie Airplane flashed into my head. With Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Roger.
Like,
I'm like,
Roger.
I love the robots, especially if you watch the Clone Wars. Like, it gives them so much personality in the Clone Wars. Oh. Yeah,
and why didn't Vader recognize R2 and C3PO ever?
Interesting.
That's true. Jar Jar better than Palpatine, according to Regan's dreams.
Say that again,
I
Buck?
agree.
I said, why didn't Darth Vader recognize R2D2 and C3PO?
Maybe he was so traumatized he blocked out those memories.
He didn't forget Obi-Wan.
No, because that was one of the source of his anger. He thought Obi-Wan had killed um what's her name? Princess Amidala or whatever. Padme.
Yeah. Well, you know the big difference between the original trilogy and the prequels, right?
What's that?
Okay, this is what, and some people don't talk about this, but at the time that the original trilogy was being written, George Lucas was married. And
Right.
his wife helped him write 4, 5, and 6. But they divorced before the prequels were written. So Lucas himself wrote 1, 2, and 3. And everybody swears that his wife, or his ex-wife now, was the one that had the big writing talent, that it wasn't Lucas.
I can see that. I mean, there's much more substance in the first 3 movies.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, hopefully the next movies that they come out with will be in the same style of the TV series that they're doing right now, and they'll be just really good movies. That's my hope.
we'll find out, hopefully.
Let's just have Mandalorian's director start making the rest of the movies.
I mean, he can make some good movies. I really like Iron Man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like he gets involved with Mando, and that TV show blows the hell up. He adds Grogu, and everybody loses their mind.
That's true. He did.
Except for that name.
Everybody still calls him Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I know.
He'll always be Baby Yoda. There's no getting rid of that. He's Baby Yoda forever.
Once they gave him a name, I've yet to call him Baby Yoda since then. But he didn't have a name to start with. So everybody's like, it's Baby Yoda.
Yeah, a lot of people are so confused because they think it's actually Baby Yoda.
There are some people I've talked to that thinks that is Yoda as a child. And I'm like, how's that possible when Luke is literally watched him die? He just reincarnated as a baby and it's Yoda all over again.
True resurrection.
I was going to say Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. Back to the Future.
When he was about to die, he quantum leaped to the future.
I love
you
that
don't know with Quantum Leap? Oh god, I love Quantum Leap. It's one of my favorite. Al is one of the best characters in TV. All right, Chad. Stop what you're doing right now. After we go off the air, find Quantum Leap somewhere that you can watch it. You'll be glad that you did. It is amazing.
We need to talk about maybe in the next one, like old USA shows that
like
it was on USA, right?
We can add that one.
It was on NBC originally, and then it reran on USA because NBC owns USA.
All right, so we'll write down like Sliders and Thunder in Paradise, and Quantum Leap.
What I used to watch after WCW Nitro.
Yep. That was the most badass boat known to man.
Right. Get Smart. The A-Team.
I never watched Get Smart, but I'm pretty sure I would have loved it if I'd actually just sat down and watched it.
Oh god, I love that show. Holy shit, I love that show. It is hilarious. All right, any more topics on the Star Wars, or have we concluded our Star Wars topic? I've got one final question. one final question for
Alright,
each of you.
alright.
Okay. And whoever wants to go first can go first. But my final question is, what do you hope if you had your finger on the pulse and could make the decision? What is your hope? What do you dream of? What do you envision as the future of the Star War?
That's a big question. I think what I said earlier, that if they're making this Old Republic, which sounds really interesting, all new characters, um, that they shoot it in the same style, or at least similar. I know they can't do it the exact same as the like DeLorean, the little shows that they're doing right now, uh, because the writing is really good. Um, I know it had to be different because it won't be episodic, but like that. But
But you're hoping
that's
they
what I
take that
want.
same team and let them continue making Star Wars content.
That's what I want to see. Yes.
Okay. Admiral, what say you?
I think that they need to do a hard stop on episodes. Like it does not need to go any further than the god awful mess that they made for the last movie. And if they're going to make any more Star Wars stuff, that they need to shift focus to another part of the galaxy. Bring in new faces that don't have a dang thing to do with what you've already screwed up and try to start fresh somewhere else in the galaxy.
What about the next movie after that? Would it be completely new people? Would you just keep swapping it up like new people, completely different
Well, no,
storyline,
no, like make a because
or just start a new trilogy?
you could start a whole new saga, for example, and most of it could take place, in the interior somewhere, because most of Star Wars is like Outer Rim stuff,
Mhm.
and you have Coruscant, but you never really go into any of the other inner realm worlds.
Would you count the Old Republic as a restart or a new beginning? Kind of like what you were talking about? Would that count in your eyes?
Well, yeah, because that was a time before. So, in that regard, it would be the equivalent of what we're doing right now in Disney's campaign. Right, we're 1,000 years into the future of what took place in the campaign before this.
Right.
Whole new set of rules, whole new set of people. The only thing that has changed is we have a history of what took place 1,000 years ago. In this regard, it'd be flipped. You would be making the history that took place 5,000 years roughly before episode one.
Right.
So that's a completely different change up. That's a whole new set of people. None of the names would even come close to mattering
Right.
unless you got to the tail end and say something got brought up about, like Planet Sith, for example. That's never talked about.
Right.
So they should be fine with doing that because it keeps, even Yoda wouldn't be mentioned at that point.
Right. Do you think we would find somebody named Skywalker?
No.
I don't think so either. I think they will stay away from that 100%. All right. Well, I think that covers it, gentlemen. I think we have
You didn't tell us what you want.
what I
That's true.
want. Well, it's very similar to you, Diz. I think that the people that are making the content now for Star Wars have proven themselves, and I think Disney should let them be the new stewards of Star Wars and continue making stuff. I think that the Skywalker stuff is over. There's not going to be any more Skywalker stuff at all, and that um, everybody's really interested in the Old Republic time period. So I think that would be a good way to kind of jumpstart the fan base again, kind of like what they did with Episode 7. So I think that would be a good place to start. Let um, John, and I can't think of what his last name is.
John Favreau,
Um, yeah, John Favreau and the other guy that wrote Mandalorian.
Dave Filoni.
Yep. Let those guys
That's chat. That's animated.
have. Oh, there you go. There you go. I agree. I agree with Mason. As long as they let John Favreau and Dave Filoni guide Star Wars, be the new Lucas for Star Wars, I think that it would be in a good place.
I guess that's all we got to say about Star Wars. That kind of sounded a little bit about kind of like Forrest Gump or something. That's all I got to say about that. So we won't do this next Thursday. Next Thursday we're gonna do For the Roll.
Yep. After the Roll
It
episode
is
2.
a little podcast where we have some of the players on, and we go over stuff from the previous session, which happens Saturday, day after tomorrow, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my channel, twitch.tv slash Dr. Did DM.
You got it.
Come
You
check
got
that
it.
out if you want to see some D&D
It was
action.
hard
These guys
for him to
playing
get
it.
that, Clan.
I DM it. Some good stuff. They just got out of a really sticky encounter with some beholders wearing some plate armor, cool stuff.
That is true. It is
So
a bad
next
time.
Thursday-
with explosives.
So that'll happen Saturday. Next Thursday, we'll have After the Roll where we talk about that stuff. And every Monday, me and Clan do Super Retro Game Show Extreme. We're playing through the Zelda games. Come check us out there.
That's
And
right.
Buck
And if you're in
will be
chat, oh, that's
Stream
right.
at
Sorry.
some
Go
point,
ahead.
right? At some point in the future, Buck will be streaming. So
That's right.
That is true.
You can come and visit the Admiral
Mhm.
and be wonderfied and see exactly how you can get to level 65 within 3 minutes of logging into an ARC server. Skill he has. I don't know how he does it. 0 hacks, 0 death stream. It's amazing. Watch it. But if you're in chat and you're like, I like all these things, but I'm here now. I'm not in the past when y'all started it. But we got a deal for you. If you go
Time machine.
to
oh yeah,
That's right.
sorry, no.
That's right. If you're in my chat and go exclamation nerd2,
It's
There
a
you go.
DeLorean.
or if you want to go to youtube.com/nerdicopia_network, you can check out all of our stuff that we've done in the past. So you can get caught up on our D&D campaign, Not Actually Heroes Cataclysm. You can get caught up on previous episodes of Super Retro Game Show Extreme, where you can see me be completely green, or also dressed as Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, which is amazing. It's all Buck's fault. You can blame him. And also, you can check out the previous 5 episodes of 3 Old Men Yelling at Cloud and the very first episode of the 3rd run of After the Roll.
3 times the best time.
That's right. Nerdicopia Network. We're consistently inconsistent.
All right, it's
but I
getting about
think-
that time.
That is everything.
These youngins need to get off our yard, right?
Hey, you kids, get off our lawn. Also,
See you
stay
guys
tuned
next time.
because if you're in my chat, we're going to raid Mount Ox, who is also in our D&D campaign, and you should drop a follow on him and say
Yeah,
hi.
Mox is great.
That's right. He's also less filling.
And he can destroy a pizza.
That's true. But he doesn't destroy pizza. He makes love to pizza during Saturday night D&D. So if you come to watch us on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/DrDizDM, you can see Mount Ox make love to a pizza. So when we're getting in his stream and we're there, remember, you need to say, hey, heard you had sex with a pizza. That way he knows that you came from 3 old men. All right? So good night, everybody.
I'm glad you finished that sentence. You kind of paused after that one word there.
That is true.
I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.